So
Yep.
I think, with the Chicago Bears moving forward, obviously we got the matchup with the Giants. Daniel Jones, quarterback there. Then we play Minnesota, Kirk Cousins over there. We'll be playing in Washington with Carson Wentz. Patriots, I believe Brian Hoyer will be the quarterback in that game, especially with Mac Jones' injury. And then we get the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. What is the likelihood that the Bears are 7-1 by November?
Honestly, you know what the game is that scares me? It's the Vikings.
The Vikings.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's the one that should be circled for Bears fans, especially because it's a divisional matchup. Kirk Cousins, it's really going to be – I think when you look at when the Packers played the Vikings week 1, it really wasn't the Packers versus the Vikings. It was Packers versus Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing about even the Houston game, Jalen Johnson wasn't out there. So hopefully we can get him back. I don't recall what his injury was, but I know he wasn't out there. So hopefully we get him back for some of these matchups with, teams that have star wide receivers like Minnesota.
Yep.
Like the Dallas Cowboys, maybe even Washington. Their receiving core looks pretty good. So, I think our secondary looks decent enough to stay in with these matchups, but I think they should come out positive in the next 5 games.
No, I definitely think they should
5-0.
be. I think 6-2, 7-1 would be amazing. 6-2, it would also be just as good. I think if we just drop one to the Vikings, although I do think the Vikings primetime, not let this week 3 primetime looked horrible. Then week 2 primetime looked horrible, and then week 3, geez, I'm blanking on the weeks. They didn't really show much. Dalvin Cook dislocated his shoulder, and they barely snuck a win out against the Lions, who are, they're a solid team. The Lions are a solid team.
Yeah, I think the Lions are showing why they're going to be a future of the NFC North, but I think the Bears are going to have something to say about that coming in 2023.
Yeah. Yep.
I look at the matchup with the Giants. Obviously, we're away. Going to be away in Minnesota again next week. Those are 2 games that I feel like are winnable.
Yeah.
We'll see how the Bears come out against the Vikings. If the Bears beat the Giants, there's going to be a little momentum riding into that week with the Vikings. If the Bears can beat the Giants and Fields can get a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, comfortable in the offense, it'll be second week in October there, and I think Justin Fields, it'll really start his career off if he can beat these Giants. So I don't think it's a must-win game, but coming off a game where he threw 2 interceptions that couldn't have been easier completions. I mean, the second one not so much, but I think he's definitely got a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. So that's scary. Something that you should watch out for. Let's move on though.
Social on the lead.